Yesterday morning, CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust, or CICT for short, announced the proposed acquisition of a 50% interest in Ion Orchard, an iconic premium destination mall right in the heart of Orchard Road, for 1.85 billion Singapore dollars. An EGM will be conducted either in late October or early November 2024 to seek unit holders' approval for the proposed acquisition, with the transaction to be completed in the fourth quarter of 2024. For those of you who do not have the time to go through the related documents, in this presentation, you will find a quick overview of the essentials you need to know about the proposed transaction based on my understanding after going through the documents, which you will find the links to in the video description below. Some brief information about Ion Orchard. The retail mall has a net lettable area of about 624,000 square feet and a committed occupancy rate at 96% as of 30th June 2024. It has a diverse mix of about 300 international and local brands across the luxury and necessity retail segments. As the asset is built to exceptional standard and design specifications, it is one of the prime choices for luxury retail brands, and at the same time, be able to command a premium rent. It is also directly connected to two MRT lines, the North-South line as well as the Thomson East Coast line, as well as with neighboring malls such as Wisma Atria and Wheelock Place. The trustee has commissioned two independent property valuers in Cushman and Service to value the property. Based on the agreed property value, it is a 0.2% premium to Cushman's valuation and a 0.5% discount to Service valuation. Total acquisition outlay, including the estimated purchase consideration, along with other transaction-related expenses, is approximately 1.1 billion Singapore dollars. CICT intends to finance the total acquisition outlay from net proceeds raised from an equity fundraising exercise. Existing unit holders like ourselves will be entitled to subscribe to 56 new units of the REIT for every 1,000 units of the REIT we currently have at 2.007 Singapore dollars per unit. Meaning to say, if you have 10,000 units of the REIT currently, you will be able to subscribe to 560 new units of the REIT at a total price of about 1,120 Singapore dollars. Non-renounceable here means that if you do not wish to exercise your rights to subscribe to the units, you are not able to sell these units to others. The whole equity fundraising exercise would see the REIT's number of issued and issuable units increase by about 8.5%, based on the number of units in the financial year 2023, as well as based on the number of units in the first half of the financial year 2024. Ahead of the equity fundraising exercise, the management of CICT have also declared an advanced distribution to existing unit holders for the period between 1st July and 11th September, with an amount of between 2.11 and 2.21 Singapore cents. If you are a unit holder of a REIT, do take note of the following dates of the advanced distribution payout. Following the completion of the proposed acquisition of Ion Orchard, CICT's portfolio value will increase by about 8% to 26.4 billion Singapore dollars. In terms of the three property types in percentage terms, it is quite well balanced, with each property type in retail, office, and integrated development having about 30% concentration in the REIT's overall portfolio. More importantly, for Singaporean investors who prefer to invest in REITs with a huge percentage of income coming from the home country, you will be happy to note that following the proposed acquisition, the geographic distribution of property value will be increased to 94.2%. Overall portfolio occupancy profile following the completion of the acquisition remains more or less the same. The most notable is a decline in contribution from top 10 tenants from 19.2% to 18%, with contribution from its top tenant in RC Hotels Private Limited down from 5.2% to 4.9%, and no other tenants contributing more than 2.3% towards the REIT's total gross revenue. The proposed transaction is accretive to the REIT's distribution per unit. However, if you were to compute the accretion based on the distribution payout for the first half of the financial year 2024, it would be just around 1%. In terms of the impact of the acquisition on the REIT's aggregate leverage, it remains at a stable level at 39.9%, which is still a good distance away from the regulatory limit of 50% set by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. To conclude, I am of the opinion that it is a positive development by the REIT for two reasons. It will further increase CICT's exposure in the Orchard Road shopping belt and at the same time deepen the REIT's concentration in Singapore in terms of property value to about 94.2%. At the same time, I understand concerns existing unit holders have on the potential dilution to unit holding following the equity fundraising exercise. In my opinion, it is inevitable. For those of you who have attended my presentations in the past, I have always mentioned that as REITs will need to pay out 90% of their earnings as distributions to qualify for tax benefits. When they need to embark on acquisition activities to grow, they will need to either take on bank borrowings or embark on equity fundraising exercises. Finally, on the small acquisition to DPU, which some unit holders have highlighted, my opinion is that because the REIT is already so big, unless the acquisition is a huge one, along the lines of at least a few $billion or more, the upward movement in the REIT's DPU will not be much. With that, I have come to the end of my presentation on the proposed acquisition of Ion Orchard by CICT. If you find the contents in this video presentation useful, I would greatly appreciate it if you can give this video a like and consider subscribing to this channel so you will not miss out on any videos I will be posting in the future. Thank you for watching and I look forward to talking to you again in the next video.